Good afternoon, and thank you so much for your patience. We apologize once again I wish I could apologize for all that's been happening in our right now with the load shedding, but obviously it was not supposed to take that long for it to kick back on. Load shedding started at 4 and was supposed to kick in straight afterwards with the generator. We were just having a few issues there, and we were at the helm of the center. Now we've managed to make a plan, but it does make you feel kind of at times a little bit angsty, as if that light at the end of the tunnel just goes further and further away. And it's clear that terms like the bright side is not lost on South Africans, because we really value it more than ever. Thank you very much for hanging around and ensuring that you can still enjoy this really exciting event that we have for you today, which is the announcement of the winner of the Samsung Bespoke Design Challenge. It is the second edition of the Samsung Design Bespoke Challenge, and I think I saw our winner from the first edition in the room somewhere here, Cassandra Twala. You'll meet her a little bit later. There she is. She's on the mentor and judging panel this year, and she was absolutely fantastic last year. And this year we have incredibly talented participants, as you've seen around, who've created this beautiful space for you, and they really have pulled out all the stops to be able to create something so beautiful with all their own different signatures on each space, and showing the versatility and how innovative you can be with Samsung Bespoke. And this, and of course tonight we'll be finding out who the winner is. You're in the dark for so long that I'm saying tonight. This afternoon we'll be finding out who the winner this year is. Thank you very much to Samsung, of course. That it wouldn't be possible without them, and of course all our sponsors, who you can see on the screens and on this banner behind me. And I think we need to really give them a big round of applause for what they're doing to give an opportunity for our coming young designers. So what is Samsung Bespoke Design Challenge? Well, let's reflect exactly on why we're all here today by taking a quick look at our screens around the venue.
Hello and welcome to Samsung Bespoke. In 2021, Samsung launched My Bespoke Challenge as an introduction of our 4-door bespoke refrigerator. Once again, we've invited 4 young talented designers to wow us with their talents and their interpretation of how Samsung fits into a home and into specific lifestyles.
Hi, my name is Dinela Monta. I'm a multi-disciplined designer, mostly specializing in interior and fashion. My first impression of the Bespoke competition was that it's open for you to imagine all the ideas you could come up with. So with my Bespoke color, it was satin sky blue. It was challenging and interesting because I never thought it was going to be blue. I was essentially looking for white, but it also gave me the opportunity to play around and explore how I can incorporate my actual color palette, which was great because it's like a complementary color, blue and oranges and sunset color, so I really enjoyed working around that color. This space is an inspiration from my grandmother's kitchen back home in Pumalanga. I always want my space to feel cozy and cohesive, feel warm, feel like you're walking into your grandmother's house, your mother's house, your own home that you've designed wholeheartedly. And I think that's the feeling I want people to feel when they come into the space.
Hi, my name is Mbali. I'm 24 years of age, and I am an architectural designer, content creator, and founder of Studio Waves Design. My real color for the Bespoke Challenge was lamb pink, and I've incorporated it into my design by adding a nurturing flair to my space and adding it as a pop of color. I value functionality and how space works. So I chose to go with a sustainable function around my space. And that is just a reflection of the modern apartment living for normal, average young adults who was trying to make the most out of a small space. I expect consumers to feel welcome. My space is nurturing and feminine, so I expect them to be sitting, being comfortable, and know that they are fully safe and they enjoy the space.
Hi, my name is Zoliban Zinzuza. I am an interior designer. I am 25 years old. I am from KZN. The color I selected for the bespoke fridge was clean white, and I had to mix it with a few other colors to make it stand out in my design, which really came through the way I had envisioned it. Nowadays, people are willing to explore. People are willing to use more color, and my space represents that with the colors that I chose, such as the green, which wouldn't necessarily be a color that you'd pick, but then my space sort of like represents that option to actually explore in terms of design. I want them to see something different, something that works, and then I want them to actually like be motivated to try something different.
My name is Miss Martins, I'm 23 years old, I'm from Victoria and I've just graduated honours in interior design, and this year is the first year that I've actually worked in the interior design industry. My favorite colour of the Essence Bespoke fridge is satin grey. The trend that you can see coming through my design is minimalism, so the use of sleek, clean lines, sophisticated kitchen that is also welcoming, and mainly also creating contrast between textures and colours and just shapes in general. So I would say my entire design philosophy in a sense is based on Mies van der Rohe's less is more. So I don't want to overwhelm people with like these crazy things. Just want to create a warm, welcoming space in general, nothing too crazy. I think if someone sees my space, they definitely can see it's a space where you come from a super busy life, super hardcore work, lifestyles, and it's a space that your family can come together and relax.
I think challenges like the Samsung My Bespoke Home Challenge is really important to celebrate what the young designers learn at, whether it be at their tertiary institutions or in their internships. They take all of this knowledge and they come to a working environment where they are really pushed to their limits. I've come to learn that showing up and doing what you do best is how you take your career to the next step, and I'm really, really thrilled to see how far each of these contestants have pushed themselves.
It's important to not only follow trends, but to add personality, and we see a lot of personality in these spaces. You see how they've used fire figure, they've used the natural color palettes, but then they've brought in their personalities with some pops of color. They've created these really home spaces that we are all seeking these sanctuaries in our lives, and they have done exactly that.
I think the showcase here today said a lot about Samsung and Samsung's willingness to draw out talent. Young South African creatives need opportunities. And here today in the showroom, we've seen the work of 4 extraordinary young interior designers. The future looks bright through the eyes of these young creatives.
Absolutely blown away at how the designers have incorporated Samsung lifestyle products into their living spaces. Each one is uniquely different and expresses our 3 main concepts of design, sustainability, and connectivity.
So I really enjoyed the experience of having to deal with the modularity of the appliances, like the stackable washer and dryer, and how we're able to fit it into smaller spaces or designated spaces.
I think I've grown a lot. As a designer and as a person in general. I feel like I learned and really met a lot of amazing people. I did a lot of amazing things. Things I never really thought I was ever going to be able to do.
My biggest takeaway from the competition was meeting the other 3 contestants. They're very talented young individuals, and I've definitely almost been inspired by each and every one of the other contestants.
Thank you so much to all the sponsors of the Samsung team. Everyone was a really great pleasure to work with. Even though we stress you guys and we stress us out as well. But I think in the end, everything came together beautifully.
We're excited to open this space to the public so they can come and experience it for themselves.
So that should give you a pretty good idea of what our contestants are all about and what Samsung Bespoke Design is all about. This design challenge that we're so excited about today, and you can see all the different kinds of personalities coming through, and that's what Samsung Bespoke is all about, revolutionizing personalization. And it's beautiful what you can do, and you saw, as I mentioned, the personalities come through, and even through our judges. I love that crystal birch right there, Tracy, absolutely awesome. Everyone with their different unique styles, different ways of thinking, and all you saw very, very young as well. We've got two 23-year-olds, a 25-year-old, and a 30-year-old. So really at the heart of how the youth is thinking around design and a great way of empowering each and every one of them. And to introduce the man right now who told us on the screen that he was absolutely blown away by what he saw. He is the Vice President of Consumer Electronics Samsung South Africa. Let's give a really big round of applause for Mike Brandy.
Sound okay? Good? Yeah. I'm not totally blown away by the electricity issue, but it was quite amazing, really. The electricity went off and everyone just carried on. Went off for the second time and people just carried on. It's amazing what South Africans do and how they just cope with all of these difficult situations. But we're not here to speak about that today. This is the third or fourth time I've shared a stage with Maps Mopanyani, and we thank you for that. It's always good to have you here, Maps. The last time, just to break the ice a little bit, the last time we shared a stage was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. It was prior to me being at Samsung. I had a boss, she was a French woman. She went to Maps, she said to him, tell me a little bit about yourself, and of course he did, about his father, and soccer, and how famous he is, and that he owned a restaurant in London, which was interesting. Anyway, she got on stage, and she said, I'm so excited to be here with Maps Mopanyani, and she said, and you know, a secret is that he even owns a restaurant in London. He immediately had to stand up and say, it's London, not London. But do enough of these, maybe you can open a restaurant in London. In fact, you probably already do own a restaurant in London. But we're not here to speak about that today. We're here to speak about this amazing place. I feel quite honoured to be part of this project. But we're also here to celebrate 4 young designers that have put these spaces together. You'll probably remember it was 2021, I think, but the last edition of the My Bespoke Challenge that Cassandra Twala won. It was too much fanfare, I can tell you. That was in fact designed to introduce the 4-door Bespoke. It's not in fact that fridge, but there's a few of them around. We just had that one fridge in those days, and boy, they did a wonderful job designing a kitchen around that fridge. But today you'll see an extended lineup of bespoke refrigerators, but also an extended lineup of home appliances, dryers, washers, air dressers, microwave ovens, all in fancy colours, and we've expanded it into that space. We've also expanded it, and we're very proud to expand it into some of our other products, like the frame TV. You see it at the back, that actually is a TV, it's not a painting, a wonderful product. But smart monitors, the freestyle projector, we've got some mobile devices. I see my colleague, the Vice President of Mobile, has joined us as well. Welcome, Justin. And so exciting that we've now looked at that exciting space. Once again, we've chosen 4 contestants, young contestants. Lovely to see what they've done here. And I am, in fact, completely blown away by what they have done. I'm not going to bring my wife here because she will get kitchen envy and ask me to redo the kitchen at home, which I'm not prepared to do at this stage, but who knows, we can speak to some of our great sponsors here. And we're very proud to have the young designers. This really can be a platform to launch their careers. And we hope that that will be that. We have a program, a global program called Solve for Tomorrow, and that's part of that program. And we hope that we will launch these young, talented designers into their careers, and hopefully that will give them the space that they need. I didn't want to miss a couple of names, so I had one or two crib notes, just so I made sure I didn't miss those names. We're very, very privileged to have three mentors that have helped the designers put that forward. Of course, Cassandra herself, our last year's winner, has joined us. Donald Kumalo, I'm not sure if Donald is here. Not here, unfortunate. Donald himself started his career after winning a competition very similar to this, which is a lovely story, and I hope that you young designers can take something from that. And also Tracy Lee Lynch, who's a very prominent figure in the industry, and she has a specific focus on local young design talent, and I hope that those mentors have helped the young designers go forward. I also wanted to make a special thanks to our collaboration partners. I mean, without those partnerships, this space absolutely could not become what it's become. It's not only about the appliances and the TVs and the tech that Samsung bring, but also about the soft finishes. And I'd like to thank St. Liga and Vani, I hope I said that correct, but for their wall coverings and fabrics. Cosentino, Boho Concept, for all of this wonderful furniture that you see. It's absolutely special. Walkberg, the casting studio, of course Decorex Joburg, who's our sponsor here. We have a lot of collaboration events with Decorex. K-Line Kitchens, once again, I'm not bringing my wife here, so don't worry. No risk of a sale there. Plascon for all of the wonderful colors, the 2023 palette that you see here. Lavished for all of the pieces that you see around the kitchens, the crockery, etc. Dectot and Soulstone, brought to you by Constantino. The cover, the tops of all of the kitchens, absolutely wonderful products, and we really have a heartfelt thanks to all of you for helping us bring this space together. Next time round, we will have Eskom as a partner, and they can hopefully bring us into that, or a solar provider, maybe a little bit more reliable, so we'll try and speak to one or two friends in that industry. I really want to, I suppose at this stage, I want you to help me to welcome this wonderful space in, but more importantly, welcome and congratulate the four contestants that we have here today with a great round of applause. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon or potentially early evening. I will hand back to Babs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Mike. It is really, really amazing what Samsung has done in the design space as well. And you mentioned that show where Donald Tumalo had been a part of, and one which was Win a Home, and Samsung was the main sponsor for that, and I was fortunate enough to have hosted that show, and that was in around 2013, and now he, at the time was around a 21-year-old designer, and now he's kind of taken the world by storm with his work, and he's absolutely done phenomenally well. So it really is important in having these kinds of platforms to catapult those kinds of careers, especially for young, deserving designers, and Sandra's career is flying as well. All right, so now we're about to have a nice intimate fireside chat with some of our talented participants and our esteemed mentors and judges. So if you would please help me in welcoming to the stage our four participants this year. I'll start with our ladies. Mbali Maseko. Emilio Motwa. Marissa Martins. Zwelibanzi Nzuza. And then the judges that we have been able to attend today: Anita Bloom, Tracy Leadledge, and of course Cassandra Twala, who I mentioned earlier. And last but not least, from Samsung South Africa, Head of Home Appliance, Mark Little. Fancy, wherever you like, either side. So I'm going to start off, firstly, good afternoon. I'm going to start off with our participants, just very quickly. Each of you, what inspired you to take part in the Samsung Bespoke Design Challenge, and what's the experience been like so far? Marissa?
Okay, so what inspired me to take part in the competition was definitely during varsity. Obviously, news got around that the competition was happening, and I actually first heard of the competition from my lecturer. So yeah, definitely my lecturer is pushing us to actually take part in things, and definitely getting your, like, it's such a great opportunity to get your foot out the door and stuff. And journey-wise, how I found it was, wow, a roller coaster, honestly. It's been great. It was definitely an absolute blast working alongside the other freelancers. But yes, it's been a blast.
Right.
Is this working?
Yeah, it is.
So I think I was inspired mostly by the space that I was currently in when the competition was open. So I come from an architectural background, and it came at a point where I was not sure where to go in terms of career, whether I should follow the path of doing a master's in architecture or trying something new and exploring my creative side. So when I attended the Careers 2022, if not 21, I heard about the challenge, and I also entered for a 9 days challenge, and everything just aligned. I guess it was just an answered prayer or a direction in the right path for me.
I saw the competition online. I saw the likes of Cassandra who won, and I was like, this would be an amazing opportunity to be a part of. And I also saw the Samsung team at Decorates as well, just like Maria went to Decorates. So I was like, this would be a really amazing thing, because I've never designed a kitchen. Why not try it out? So here I am, outside of winning the money. Oh, what that cash prize. But then I thought it's an amazing opportunity. It's also just great brand alignment with Samsung. So yeah, that's what pulled me closer and closer.
And actually on that, regardless of the result, does it feel like it's been absolutely worth it for you?
Absolutely. I met such amazing people working here, and I'm taking this experience and I'm running, and I'm coming back Samsung. So yeah.
Zoe?
Hi. So with me, it goes back to, I think it was 2015, a year where I was watching the Win at Home challenge. It was still airing on specific before the show got cancelled. And then I just saw myself in those guys. That was before I even actually enrolled into the interior design course. So I always had this passion for it until later last year during my final year. And this was when I had been thinking, hoping for these type of competitions. And then last year I finally entered when my lecturer told us about it in class. And for me, this was a perfect one, because it really blended in all the things that I had passion for, technology and interior design. So it was really a very good opportunity, and it's been really amazing. It's been a journey, it's been a roller coaster, but then I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, well, let's get right into the heart of your designs. Can you share your process of how you come together with, how you decide to design a space and what it was like using the Samsung Bespoke products in order to, get that across.
So if I can think about my thought process, I always value functionality in how we can use the space. So I was inspired by modern apartment living and how the recent apartments just keep on getting smaller and smaller. And I really thought about how I can maximize the space. So I was really inspired by having my appliances in the center of attention. So with my design over here, I decided to place everything within a box, which was actually inspired by the Islamic religion, which is the Holy Mecca. So everything revolves around it. So yeah, I think when I had to plan around the modularity, I really enjoyed that because it also relates to people who would be living in an apartment or bachelor pad. So I really valued how the space would work more than anything.
So we live in a country where we can be, in many cases, more than many other places in the world, be spoiled for space. However, as things get more expensive and it gets a little bit trickier to maintain a certain level of livelihood, spaces are getting smaller and you're required to make the most of design in those spaces, although it's not a natural way of thinking. How were you able to get that across, approach the challenge of designing within limited space while ensuring that you keep a great aesthetic appeal and functionality?
Nice question. Good question. My design is actually centered around functionality. So in the back of my mind, when I was coming up with the concept, I wanted to design a space where I could maximize the function of the space while at the same time keeping the aesthetic. So it depends. There's many mediums and ways to approach it. The way I did approach it was using like a very contemporary, modern approach in my design, which blends contemporary maximizing the functionality and then blending that with comfort.
You had mentioned that you have never designed a kitchen before. In fact, it's not your first rodeo in terms of creating beautiful things. We've seen you do collaborations in the past, but usually around homeware, lifestyle, and textile, which you do incredibly well, and more really focused on the art of what you do. There's a lot of inspiration of local heritage, culture, and really where you're from with a lot of what you bring into your design. So how did you manage to infuse that with the Bespoke challenge into the unique elements of your work?
As of tomorrow, Max is my manager. So what I really, like you said, Max, I really try to incorporate memories and stories that I like to tell in everything that I do. So within this space, that's what I wanted people to feel as they come in. Feel a sense of home, because that's all I'm about. I'm about sharing my memories, sharing the ideas that I'm inspired by. My mom is here actually today, and when I designed this kitchen, I was like, doesn't it look like my granny's kitchen a bit? Doesn't it look like your mom's kitchen? And she was like, it really, really does. It has a resemblance. So I try and show those memories, that nostalgia in everything that I do.
Yeah. Well, it's important for you to always have nostalgic elements attached to what you do?
I think personal spaces are becoming more personal, and having that nostalgic little piece of memory is what makes a space feel like a home, and that's what I always try and capture in everything that I do. So it's really important.
Yeah. Marissa, how do you envision your designs kind of contributing to the evolving trends in living spaces and addressing the needs and preferences of the contemporary homeowners of the world?
Well, definitely thanks to the Samsung Bespoke fridge, like the ability for users to basically, as Cornelia said, personalize their space to their taste and stuff. So definitely, I think the kitchen contributes to the space through the ability of the user being able to personalize space with colors, aesthetics, and storage and stuff. And I think, yeah, just in general, it's design trend-wise, just creating almost a sanctuary and welcoming space. And obviously, definitely, also again, thanks to the Samsung Bespoke fridge, the incorporation of smart technology, because I think homes, like that's a major thing, that's a major trend, that's definitely like coming and showing. So that's basically it.
Did you feel there was a tight, like lots of competition between the two of you? Oh, sorry, between the four of you? I'm just asking because I'm only noticing this gap now, and I don't know if it's beef or, you know, if it's tension building up to that moment. But you want to say something, is that like this?
Not at all. I think we had to remind ourselves that we're actually in a competition because we kind of like grew some sort of friendship where we actually helped each other to the very end. So I wouldn't. It's only now that it's dawning upon us that we're actually in a competition against each other.
Cassandra, you were the previous winner of the Samsung Bespoke Challenge. Firstly, what's it like being on the other side and seeing new young designers coming through and needing to be a part of that kind of mentor judging panel, so to speak?
Apart from my jealousy of this prize, no, it's really rewarding. I feel very proud to be back here and to see really the finest talent in our country getting a platform to kind of, at the very beginning, most of them of their careers. So it's great. I think I was soft on you guys. I was nice. I was the good cop. Tracy, no, we're actually all good cops. None of us were random, like no. I think we're just really proud of them. They've done really well, and I'm honored to be here again.
What were some of those standout qualities and I guess skills that you managed to see in some of these talented participants that really stood out for you?
Sure. I think it's colors and technical detail and kind of drawing and putting things together. Those things come as you practice and do stuff. But the idea and the presence of showing up as yourself will always carry you through your career. And I also feel just honesty in who you are. Like when you stepped into the spaces, you could feel this is Mbali, this is Inebe, this is when they're not trying to do a Pinterest, I don't know, deep dive of someone else. And honest design stands the test of time. So I think when they got to who they are and what they want to say, what their experience is, that's where we kind of saw magic.
And actually on that point, Anita, how, in your perspective, how effectively would you say that they used the Samsung Bespoke range and the colors and the modularity features to, I guess, their benefits and to use it as much as possible that brought out the best in it?
Absolutely. So, the main thing was for them to hero that Bespoke fridge, and as you all know, they got given colours that they had to base their space, their mood, the flow, everything around, still heroing that fridge. And I think they did an amazing job. They really did. My main thing was that they brought out their personalities. If you got to spend the time we did with each one of them and hear how much detail and storytelling went into small things like the gold handles, the artwork, the color choice. I mean, they really have put a lot of thought into this, and as we know, multifunctional spaces are so important. They kept all of this in mind, and I'm really blown away by what you guys have created by bridging that gap between technology and interiors and making these home spaces that just feel like, you said, sanctuaries. So well done to all of you.
Absolutely. Tracy?
Yes.
I see you're terribly afraid of color. I'd love to know from your side, especially because you are this kind of person who's all about innovation, latest kind of design and styles and trends. Did you pick up a lot of those design style trends in a lot of the contestants' spaces, and were you impressed with how they were able to, have that come across?
So my passion for colour and pattern is actually as a result of these extraordinary people, our creative youth that constantly inspire me. I'm so privileged to work most days with young South Africans and share their stories. And I think trends, yes, okay. But what really hits home for me when I interact with these extraordinary creatives is how confidently and beautifully and authentically they share their design stories. That is what it's all about for me. When I met Zweli and he was explaining to me a little bit about his design, and he was talking about the Volberg tiles, and we were asking about the pops of gold, and he said, I haven't been to Johannesburg before, and this beautiful competition, this beautiful sandstone competition brought me here, and I've always heard about the city of gold, and what it meant to me in my mind was something quite powerful. And when I got here, I realized that the gold was all about the people here. And when I listen to young people share like Zweli did with me, the creative industries of South Africa are the way forward. When business collaborates with creative young people and draws out these exceptional positive stories, all of our hearts sing. So that's why I'm so inspired by young South Africans that are prepared to get out there and meet the challenge. And business is here to meet them. And that's when we all win. So.
And that's why we vote Tracy for president.
Mark, it's obviously, the Bespoke is something that is building up quite nicely. It's still kind of fresh on the market, in a sense that you have brought in the product base to a whole lot more product to be able to be bespoke with. Since its kind of onset of launch, how have South Africans taken to using Samsung Bespoke, and what's the response been like?
Yeah, I think, my immediate response is very good, very well. And then I think to myself, well, where does that answer come from, Mark? With Samsung, we work on metrics. I can tell you the sales just going into more and more consumers' homes. Okay, that's one way. I can tell you the awareness that we get, that people are always asking for more products, more colors. Can we do our own designs? Things that I put our team under to answer those questions more. But then I think about a space like this, and this is probably the best evidence of that. We think about Bespoke as a concept. It was about saying, express yourself, bring the technology into your life in your own unique manner. And South Africans are identifying with that, and we see that in this space. We see it first of all because after the first Bespoke Home Challenge, and in this Bespoke Home Challenge, people will come in here and they'll look, and they'll be inspired, and they'll be like, I like that, and I could see that in my home, but I could do it my way, and that'll get them excited. We can also just see it in the stories that we hear, and I love these stories because I don't have the most creativity in me. My wife clearly keeps up to that side of our home. But to hear how people can be so inspired and excited and tell their stories about innovation in their homes or their grandmothers, like the inspiration, I'm like, wow. So yeah, that I think is the best real practical evidence of how South Africans identify with this.
I've noticed in the space that we're in that we've spoken a lot about the fridge and the bespoke elements there. There's also a couple of new bespoke products. Are they out in the market yet? What are those products and what's still yet to come?
Yeah, so we launched a full range of refrigerator last year. At the beginning of this year, we launched our microwaves. And the idea behind the microwave was that, again, feedback from just on social media and people talking to us. They're like, we want the bespoke lifestyle. We're not changing a fridge right now, but how do we get involved? Okay, a microwave in 4 unique colors. What's coming next is to give the whole home solution, which includes our washer and dryer, or separate washer and dryer, a washer and dryer combo, as well as dishwashers still to come. And all of that will come this year. So by the end of this year, you can have the complete bespoke
bespoke home experience, especially tackling like these guys.
Yeah, amazing. I think I'll throw this one to Anita. Anita, how do you envision the future of how interior design and its role of allowing people to shape their living spaces as our lifestyles and preferences continue to evolve with the use of these kinds of options?
So we all have our personal preferences of like what we want our spaces to do, and it is just so amazing to see how Samsung are coming to the party with creating these appliances that are so customizable, not just in colors and stuff, but in functionality and design. And what a privilege for our contestants to be able to have such amazing technology as like a starting point for them to design spaces around that. So I hope I answered your question there.
It
gave me quite a mouthful.
No, you answered it very succinctly. And lastly, Tracy, something like this isn't easy to be able to execute. And they've managed to do that incredibly well with the amount of space that they've been given. Only a few square meters. This these days is a loft in Cape Town, that's probably around 10 million rand. But they've made the most of the space that they've been given. I'd love to know from your expertise as well, looking at how they've approached this, what are the challenges that they faced, or that you think they have faced, or that you would have faced as an interior designer, and how well did they address those?
So I think a lot of what we spoke about on Monday when we had this beautiful time together and we were chatting was that they had a very broad brief. They had to incorporate all beautiful products from Samsung. They had a lot of sponsors that they had the privilege to work with, Biltberg and some Legend Barney, really incredible furniture. But it's a competition, and the challenge was that they should bring something of themselves to their design. So I think when we met and we worked through how they were going to achieve all of that and how they did go about it, I was amazed at their discipline. They really ticked all the boxes, such deep thinkers. Nothing was left to chance. There was still a lot of interrogating, a lot of questioning, and of course uncertainty. A good creative is always passionate about finding out from, about where they might improve and be better at their craft. So I think as much as these are young designers, I see a really bright future because their maturity and discipline in the approach that they all took was really inspiring for all of us.
Wonderful. Mark, will we get another bespoke challenge after this?
I'm not at liberty to say at this stage. You can always expect the most exciting and newest ideas from Samsung.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Please could we give our panel a round of applause? Marissa, Zweli, you may all take a seat. Cassandra, Tracy Lee, Anita, I'd love for you to still stay on stage. And I'd like to swap out Mark for Mike. And we have come to that moment where we are also at liberty of finally announcing who our winner of the 2023 edition of Samsung Bespoke Challenge is going to be. And to have of course, as always, our guest of honor joining us on stage to help us make that big announcement and hand over the prize. I'd like to introduce Mr. Boomsung. Where's Mr. Boomsung? Mr. Boomsung Hong. There he is at the back. President of Samsung, South Africa. Mike, would you like me to do those? I think you need to. Where's the envelope? We have our two big checks making their way over there. And if you're ready with all the paraphernalia to celebrate this wonderful moment. Yeah. I'll get that blown up in my face. announcing our runner-up for the 2023 Samsung Bespoke Challenge, Marissa Martin. An idea of just how difficult it was for the judges. Each of the contestants had about somewhere between 0.5 and 0.1 between them, or a point between them. So it was incredibly tight, incredibly challenging. Could have gone either way, but this year's or this edition of the Samsung Bespoke Challenge winner goes to, drumroll please, I don't want to Steve Harvey this. Before I say anything, yep, can we pop that mic on?
Just sorry to interrupt you. The final winner is to be announced after highlighting and showing appreciation of our partners who are supporting us once again, and then the organizers who are preparing those kind of lovely night, except some 20 minutes of incidents, and then teams who make like some warm places to show some our the direction, and then to give some additional experience to the consumers, and then the participants, like the media, influencers, and the colleagues, and some sponsors, once again appreciate for your support. So, then the winner is...
Okay, I'll double mic now, so we don't miss it. The winner is... Zoliban Zinzu!